the one that is really prevalent is that playing God. Like, control freak that I am. And thinking it's going to work, right? Doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't work. It's still doing it. Till this day, of course. Aloha, Alex here with Aloha Speaks. And what a topic. Forms of insanity. The parentheses. What dash who is important. Slash edge dash brink. So my first point is the definition of insanity being doing the same thing over and over again. And it's usually expecting different results, whereas where I come from, being honest with myself, is more than expecting, wishing, please, for different results. So that being a popular definition, I'm going to use as a foundation here. What about how it shows up in my life? It can be a variety of ways. There are two I'm going to mention here, focusing on one. But the one that is really prevalent is that playing God. Like, control freak that I am. And thinking it's going to work, right? Doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't work. It's still doing it. Till this day, of course. And there's the inflated ego. Okay, now, the other form. So I'm not going to address that. Wanting, though, to acknowledge that's really high up there. The one, though, that I don't acknowledge, because I don't want to, and is still really high up there, is this: how important I am. And it's not really, that's not the danger, the red flag item, as much as how much more important I am than, and then fill in the blank, because at any given time it can be somebody, of course, somebody else. It's a different fill in the blank at any given time. So I'm usually taking in something. I talk about it quite frequently, something from the external world, and look at that insanity. Look at that insanity. And that can even be the impetus to start the ball rolling, that look at that insanity coming from a place of it's down there and I'm up here. There I am right away, up here, more important than that, because I'm looking down on it. That insanity. When in that very moment, and there's the word edge-brink. I'm flirting with the edge of insanity, or maybe in it, on the brink of insanity right then. Because here it goes. So it goes on far more than I acknowledge. And in my dance with honesty versus dishonesty, I don't want to acknowledge that either, that, oh no, there's no, I'm only honest. And wrong answer. No. Because there's that avoidance in the avoidance of the honesty is automatic dishonesty. For me, I can only be responsible for my own sanity, for my own experience, okay, my own peace, or whatever else. So, an example, it can be so overlooked. This just happened. I had been speaking with a dear friend of mine, having some events going on in her life and bouncing things off of me, and there was a cutoff point. We couldn't finish the discussion, and she values my input, so it ended and couldn't come to a conclusion in the discussion. So it actually allowed for me to reflect. The following day, she was picking me up to pick up my car from the mechanic, a half hour away. It allowed plenty of time. I was able to reflect and really get clear on some valuable feedback. So we spoke on the phone, and she says, okay, great, we'll have time. You can tell me in the car. And because I let her know, I came up with a few things that I think that she could benefit from. So, ready and rare. And she picks me up the next day, and as soon as I get in the car, she says to me, okay, don't say anything about what you have to say, because what I have to say is more important. And I'm like, excuse me? Because what I had was really important. I mean, I had worked hard on gaining clarity, and it was valuable information. So I was really taken aback, like, excuse me? I like swallowed my pride. There's the pride. And I with resistance, shut up. And we took off down the road, and she started laying things out that she wanted to talk about, using the valuable time up that we had. It was limited time, even though it was a while. But she got it all out in about 20 minutes. And at the end of the 20 minutes, what I realized was that all that I had prepared was absolutely moot, had nothing, no value. It was discounted in its need because of the information she had come up with in the interim. Hilarious. Just my pride, my attachment to how important, not just how important, because it wasn't just how important what I had to say, because it is. It's what I have to say is so important. Yes, there is that. But it's attached to how important I am. Those are merged. And that it's more important than her and what she has to say. Yes, I shut up only because I have learned and grown enough to do it. But in all honesty, I can, to myself, admit it was crushed my pride. There was so much resistance to be able to shut up and like, excuse me? Since that time, there was a delay because I had a technical issue. I actually did this video before. Then something broke and I had to wait a little time. There was another example that I could give. I'm not going to. But it already happened again with another friend. The same kind of, it didn't hit me until I started this video. The same thing over and over again. Wishing for different results. The pain, the suffering, to some degree. On the brink of that, it takes so many different forms. The blessing is the awareness, is the consciousness, because it even brings a little bit of sense of humor into it. It doesn't work. My blessing is what does work. Always is to let go of these false, completely false premises. Until next time, aloha.